you, asshole.
Fuck you, asshole.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, that was for you, Frank Djeng. That was for you, my friend. There
I
you go.
requested it. Yes,
That's right. He requested it. He said he's not showing up unless that clip is in there. Classic. What is going on? Everybody watching? That's right. The Kung Fu Action Martial Art Avengers have returned. Oh, yes, that's right. With a new member on the team, the Lieutenant. That's right. We got some badasses here. We got Eoin Friel. That's right. From the Action Elite. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. First time on Versus. I'm sure there's going to be many more. We got the Sexy Sumo in the house. We got Erik Crockett. That's right. Movie enthusiast going there. That's right. We got actor Mrtonyofthedead. That's right. Night of the Axe 72 projects coming out. That's right. And of course, Kung Fu Santa himself, Ric Meyers, in the house. That's right. Go out and buy the books, buy the movies. Get the book. And oh my God, Frankie, there he is. Frankie Rambo in the house there. Check out Frankie's movie, An Hour to Kill. Look at him looking all slick in there. You're looking Seagal-ish in that one there. And of course, the master of remaster himself, Frank Djeng, in the house to hang out. It is going to be an awesome one. This is the 30th episodes of Versus, and it's the same year edition episode. That's right. Two Titans. That's right. Came out the same year, 1985. We got First Blood Part 2, Electric Boogaloo versus Commando. Oh, man. Two Titans. That's right. Everybody got their grease. They work out today. Everybody pumped up. Got their grease on. Let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, let's see the Movie Dojo Army. Who is here? What's going on? Erik Plantier. What's cracking? John Martinez. Let's start the fucking ruckus. Heather Love. Oh, yeah. Alan in the house. Will, what's going on? Theodore, Brian Trash. They're slowly trickling in. That's right. Gonna check out who is going to win today. John Rambo or John Matrix? Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to be brief because we have a full panel. I'm not going to talk too much, but let's go ahead and talk First Blood Part 2. Man. Woo, Rambo, baby. Huge Rambo fan over here. And I really love the first movie a lot. I love the story. Everything's just really great. And I love the score throughout the series from Jerry Goldsmith. It's an iconic theme and score, and it's just a good time. But, man, people forget that as great as First Blood is, people forget to this day there's only one death in that whole movie. People forget about that, right? They get to see the guy with the big gun, the muscles, shooting bullets. Really, only one person died in First Blood. Still a great movie, still phenomenal, right? Well, Rambo Part 2 fixed that shit. We got a huge-ass body count in here, and I love it, and I used to watch this movie on TV so many times. Bought it on DVD. I don't know how many times I've rebought this movie. Blu-ray, 4K, Steelbook, all that good stuff. So, huge fan of this. Love it. I don't care if it's not realistic. I like explosive tipped arrows, okay? I don't care. It's awesome. It's badass. I love it. So, I love this movie. 5 stars for me. Let's go ahead and keep it going. I won't talk too much because we got a full panel. Owen, thoughts, positives and negatives on Rambo.
Well, First Blood is, to me, the best of the Rambo films. It's the best made, but First Blood Part 2 is my personal favorite entry of the Rambo franchise because it sort of just created Rambo as the unstoppable action hero and just was sort of the template for who the action hero is. It's got the headband. Like you said, you've got the amazing score. That final half hour, that final half hour, though, whenever you have the Murdoch, I'm coming to get you, it's the best fuck yeah moment of like the 80s. Anytime you watch that, you're like, oh yeah, that is awesome. So I love that. And there's so many great lines. Like someone said there, to survive war, you got to become more, as my t-shirt here says. Okay, so.
Hold on, let me blow it up. Hold on.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Dude.
Yeah.
So that's the back of it, and then that's the front.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
The other t-shirt I'll show, which I'm wearing when we're talking about Commando.
Sounds good.
But yeah, There's not much I don't like about this. I mean, whenever people say, "Oh, it's not realistic," I'm like, "Well, it's an action movie. I don't watch action movies for realism. I watch for escapism. If I want realism, I'll sit in my cubicle at the office all day and cry." So it's like that's not what I want to do. I want to escape for a while, and it's just it's total wish fulfillment. Rambo's just an amazing action hero, but you also have, there's a little bit of the whole Vietnam thing as well. Do we get to win this time? Things like that, and then you've got Martin Cove in it as well. Charles Napier, who was, to me, I think Murdoch is one of his best ever characters. He was just such a prick. You just hate him every minute he's on screen. But absolutely love it. I mean, in terms of flaws, it's sort of unintentionally funny at times towards the end, whenever the girl is saying, I come with you to America. And he's like, sure, you come with me to America. And then she's like literally shot within like 3 seconds of that. But it's still, great. But apart from that, there's not really much I don't like about it. It's an awesome action movie, one of my favorites. So that's all I'll say about it for now.
Nice. And it's you said this is your favorite out of the series?
Yes, it's the one I watched the most out of all of them. Yeah.
This to go along with that, this one has my favorite knife out of all the knives in all 5 movies. This is my favorite knife. I actually have it somewhere, but it's buried. I'll have to find it. But yeah, love the knife. Okay, Sumo.
Yo,
First Blood Part 2.
First Blood Part 2. First of all, the Asian actress in that movie is like the most beautiful Asian actress ever. I remember her from Sidekicks.
Yes.
If anything, she should have been one of the beautiful girls Lo Pan was looking for in Big Trouble in Little China. Because she has amazing eyes.
That's Julia Nixon.
Nixon. Yeah, she played Ko in this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's really good. Other than that, the action was well done. There were some moments where it kind of slowed down, when they had some little sad dialogue and his little history and stuff. And I believe this might have been an origin story for the leader of the master or the dojo guy from Cobra Kai, Martin Cove's character, because he was in the war. So that might have been his backstory. But yeah, everything else was really good about this movie. Action was on point. The explosions were super intense, and it was an exciting film. I used to watch this movie on a bootleg VHS as a kid all the time. So I mean, it's always been a great ride in this movie. Nothing like a nice little rocket launcher to take a whole helicopter there.
Oh yeah.
Although his bow and arrows, he said he used them for stealth, but they're like the loudest arrows on earth. When they zip into the body, it's great.
All right, copy that, Tony.
This movie was always my favorite of the Rambo. Well, I haven't seen the very last Rambo yet, but of all the first 4, this is my favorite. And then one day, my cousins and I sat down and watched the first one, and it's kind of a toss-up between both of them. I really, really like both of them a lot. But growing up, this was always my favorite one. Rewatching it now, unfortunately, I think it lost a little bit for me. I don't remember it the way I used to, but I understand it more now as an adult. Because back then I didn't really understand what was going on with the POWs when I was a little kid and them leaving them. I just didn't understand it. But now, obviously, growing up, I do, and it's like, no wonder he's pissed off. I didn't know that stuff when I was a little kid. I will say the arrows, even though they're loud, that sound when I heard it when I watched it last night came back to me. I was like, oh, I forgot about how cool that sounds, and just like, yeah, just like it's like so cool. I will agree that I had a crush back in the day on Julia Nixon, and I still do. Sidekicks, everything. Like she's a beautiful, beautiful woman. I forgot Martin Cove was in this, and it was funny to see him in that. I really don't have anything negative to say about it, and I know there's like the whole like he gets unstoppable, but like I love that, And again, you can't go into this. He's like a one-man fucking army. What do you expect? And being that this is like versus Commando, I could see some of the similarities of them. Which one came out first, though?
Rambo did.
Rambo did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Because like he has that machine gun at the end, and then John Matrix has that one where he comes unstoppable on that island, and that it's like, but it's cool to see the comparisons to them. But yeah, I always like this, especially when he starts hiding and getting them one by one. That to me is still like such an amazing part. Like that part in the mud when I was little actually kind of scared me. And just seeing it now, it's like that's fucking awesome. But yeah, I had a good time rewatching this, and it's really tough. I still don't know my choice, so it's really tough to know what I'm gonna pick. But yeah, it was nice to rewatch it.
Nice. Erik.
Yeah. This one, I haven't seen this one in a few years. So when I watched it again, it was quite refreshing. I love Richard Crenna, man. That dude is just everything. Like usually in a movie like this, when you go back to the main base, it's like boring time. But he made it engaging. You know what I mean? He really did help the film a lot. And he was also in a movie called Summer Rental with John Candy, and he was freaking hilarious in that movie. And then Martin Cove, we've already mentioned. Steven Berkoff, the bad guy from Beverly Hills Cop, is in this too. So he's pretty good. And then Julia Nixon, and quite fetching, I might add. But who agrees with us on that? If you remember the scene where she infiltrates the camp at night, there's like the guard at the front of the camp who lets her in, and as she walks by, he just looks. He's like, yeah. He like gives like a nod of approval. I thought that was funny. Sly missed an opportunity early on though. When he grabs the snake, I would have loved it if he punched it. He should have beat Van Damme to that. He had the chance and he didn't do it. But I do think we have some actually pretty good dialogue between Sly and Julia on the boat. You know what I mean? It gives a little bit, they take about 5 minutes, 10 minutes on the boat there. It does give a little bit of a dramatic depth to it a little bit. Also, I like the whole concept of a PR stunt to this whole thing. Because remember, they expect the base to be empty. But what they don't know is they're rotating the prisoners. So they screw up by sending Sly in when they rotated the prisoners in. Because this is supposed to be like, we send this decorated veteran in. He didn't find any POWs. The war is over, people. Forget about it. There's nobody over there. But it backfires. So I kind of like that aspect of the film. It was actually a pretty neat little plot element. And then the story or the action, very solid. I like the stealth elements. Reminded me of my days playing Metal Gear Solid, going through and taking dudes out. I think this was a movie that made me a fan of the bow and arrow weapon as well. And when Julie's character dies and Rambo stands up in the rain, you're just like, dude, these dudes are going down. Yeah. And the whole final half hour is really pretty fantastic. The only little disappointment I had was the fight on the helicopter with the big Russian dude was a little weak, I thought. They just like grappled and he threw him off. But yeah, this is a solid flick. It holds up. I really enjoy it.
Nice. Rick.
Oh, baby. Well, when I was a kid, watch on TV a lot, they'd have all these Sons of Hercules movies. And so when those would come on, and they would, it was all the Roman peplum films. And they were all there. They were gods. They were demigods. And they all had these big muscles. So by the time we got to the 80s, and suddenly Schwarzenegger and Stallone show up, I'm instantly fine. I'm not expecting realism. These guys are Sons of Hercules. There's absolutely no question. So at that point, I take my brain out, I put it by the door of the theater, I sit down and I have a good time. And then it becomes a matter of how much you can push me in terms of there's not a lot you can do to make me go, oh, come on. But I'll tell you, he did it. He did it in Rambo. I'm trying to remember which novel I used that as a joke in, which is for him to be in the mud, that requires the adversary to choose. I mean, he wasn't just on a path and that was the only place the guy could walk out of, hundreds of miles. I mean, and also when Rambo goes, where am I going to bury myself? I'll just do it here in this middle of this field. You'll walk on me, no problem. So when that happened, I just went, oh no. And so from then on, I couldn't take the rest of it seriously, but he certainly could. That was the other thing. He had no sense of humor about it. I mean, and of course he's not going to punch the snake because he's got no sense of humor about it. Killed the girl he semi-loved. And also it was interesting, both these movies, they seemed to be looking at each other, but they were being made at the same time. So I was just wondering how much of a crossover. I mean, it's possible that Sly and Arnold would be out for lunch, and they would just be comparing notes. Oh, you did that? I'll do that too. Because they both used house directors. These weren't superlative directors. These are guys who are known to do whatever the studio wants them to do and do it professionally. These are real pulp movies, and as such, I really did enjoy it. Carry on.
Nice. Frankie.
Well, I'm a fan of Rambo, obviously. I have the knife. If you see right there, that's a photo of me as Rambo as a child. Like, I got it, I think, Ripley's Believe It or Not or some shit. So, I mean, I'm a fan, and I'm a huge fan of First Blood. Like, I like the fact that he didn't actually kill the guy. The guy fell off a helicopter. It's cool and meta and shit.
All right, where's the photo at? Where's the photo?
Oh,
at?
you want me to bring it?
All right. Yeah.
There you go.
Love
Steroids, baby. I love it. Yeah. Well, but this one, I just have so many issues with it. There's iconic action scenes, okay? I agree.
Okay.
Like, the arrow, freaking his body. This is the most jacked he was right up at this point because this is the Rocky time where he was getting jacked, training with, Franco Columbo and stuff. But, the idea that, in the end of the First Blood, he's messed up. And here they're offering him a mission. It's like, it's kind of, why hit him? Like, there's other special forces guys.
No, they wanted him to fail. They gave it to him because they wanted him to fail.
I know, but the idea, but
he's
what are the
expendable,
odds of him going into that room and shooting up everybody? Like, they don't know. He shot up the whole town. He blew up a town, you know?
Yeah, so they figured, so if he dies there, which they were planning to do, that would have been fine. So, that's not a good reason not to like it.
No, okay.
Because that makes sense that they would choose him and not a better agent.
Okay, but then Troutman gets surprised that he got fucked over by the CIA, and he was in Vietnam where they all got fucked over. But he was like,
but he's
what?
working for them now.
I know he's working for them now, but he's like, I got fucked up. What? And it's like, what? Like, you should know that. You're special forces. You get fucked over all the time.
Don't be asking what people should know in a movie like that.
It was taking itself so seriously for the first half, and then that last 30 minutes, right when Coach freaking dies, it goes into that level where they know what movie they're doing. And this is like the director that did Cobra, right? And that
Tombstone.
But he knew what he was doing with Cobra. Like, that was like Commando. Like, all right, we're fucking going crazy here. Here, that last 30 minutes. I love that, and except for the one part where Rambo runs through the village and kills a chicken for no apparent reason, and then I know for the reason, but that village needed a chicken. They looked like there was like monks and stuff in there, and I was like, why did he run through a village? Like, the most covert guy, the mud guy that we were just talking about, ran through a village with his his triceps and everything. All right, but it's awesome. It's iconic. You can't talk shit. I'm just fucking around.
And the monks are vegetarian. They're not going to eat the chicken.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Okay.
All right.
I love you.
All right. Copy that. Love the photo. All right. Frank Djeng, Rambo.
Well, the first Blood will always be one of my favorite Stallone films. I was very impressed by it. I just love how he was just able to just show how much the war has tortured him. All the way through in the end with that monologue and just throughout, it's just a wonderful action drama, and I rewatch it all the time. I think I still think, after all these years, that's still one of his best works. This one, of course, it takes it kind of on the pretty different level. Action wise, that last 30 minutes, fantastic, relentless. The rhythm, the editing, the rhythm, the level of destruction, very impressive. And not surprising because James Cameron wrote it, right? And then of course the whole idea that he was used as a PR, he's really a guinea pig for this PR stunt. that's really like James Cameron stuff. You see a lot of the same kind of plot elements even in Avatar, right, and Aliens. So yeah, I mean, Cameron's screenplay was good. Jerry Goldsmith's music, wonderful. I like the location. I guess this was shot in Thailand, I think, not really Vietnam. It really convinced you that this was Vietnam in many ways. The locale is excellent. With that said, I mean, the torture sequence is great. There's all these different moments where you can see it kind of builds up to him letting loose in the end. So that again, I credit that to Cameron, not really to the director. my only issue with the film was the middle part, especially with the girl. To me, kind of dragged a little, and also it just reminded me of so much like similar movies like the Susie Wong stuff for some reason. Maybe because I'm an Asian, so I'm looking at this like there's a little bit of stereotyping going on with the female character, but more importantly with the lieutenant guy, the Vietnamese lieutenant guy, which I thought really could have been a more convincing villain. Here, he was just a cardboard character in many ways, and he's actually played by a Hong Kong actor, by the way. He's a Hong Kong actor stuntman, George Zhang. But I thought that character was really, the way it was depicted was really more stereotypical and more cartoonish than it should have been. He could have added a little bit more depth to his character, make him a little bit more important or essential to the storyline, so that we can have like multiple convincing villains in this film. Not just on the American side, not just him being betrayed by his own boss or by his own commander and all that, but also this guy, this lieutenant guy. He could have been a menacing character for all you care. I think he could have been a little bit more dangerous. So that was my main nitpick with the film. But other than that, yeah, it was very entertaining. And that last 30 minutes, man, yeah, that was still that still impressed me every time I rewatch it. So.
Yeah, this scene, I always get an action boner. Sorry, like I see young samurai jumping on the couch, like just screaming, like just Was all right. As much as we love this movie, was anyone a little bit disappointed that he didn't kill the last motherfucker?
Yeah, I get it.
It makes sense. The story makes sense, right? Yeah, go out there, find him, or I'll find you. Right? It makes sense story wise, but. What do you think would have happened if he
would have gone back to prison?
Right back to prison.
Yeah,
right? And then they bust him out in 3. We need you to do something else again. Okay.
Think of it as extended yard time.
Minor nitpick. But other than that, phenomenal. All right. Commando, baby. Woo. Man. Commando, I love the soundtrack. It's very unexpected. Oh, Steelbook. Nice.
Director Scott.
Yeah, it's the soundtrack. It's very unexpected. The sound of it, you wouldn't think that would be the score they would have chosen for a Commando movie, but it works and it's iconic. I love the soundtrack of Commando.
Steel drums, baby, steel drums.
Yeah. There's a meme out there that when you see the meme, it's like, yeah, this is how I feel when I bring in all the groceries from the car at the same time. But yeah, I mean, come on. This is the introduction to this guy here. Come on now. This is insane.
That's how I feel when I lift a 2x4.
Oh, man. But again, just classic one-liners full of it. I wonder, Owen, do you think this has the most one-liners for an Arnold movie?
I think it does. I think it's maybe one of the most quotable movies of the 80s, at least. I mean, there's like every line of dialogue is quotable. I mean, it's amazing. You got so many great characters as well.
Yeah, but I'm thinking this might be, in terms of Arnold's filmography, this might have the most Arnold one-liners in it. But I might be
maybe Predator, but no, I think this one, because Predator's more of an ensemble. But yeah, I think Commando in terms of Arnie.
Yeah. But this is phenomenal. I mean, just the action's insane. Classic one-liners, great stunts. Again, the last 30 minutes, like First Blood, is just chaos. Just chaos. And I love this movie, man. 5 stars for the Samurai. Watched it a billion times on TV. Again, just like First Blood. Bought the DVD. Well, bought the VHS, son. Then the DVD. Then the Blu-ray and all that stuff. So Love the movie. It is a classic. It is one of Arnold's best. It made me an Arnold fan when I first seen it. All right, Owen.
Back to me. Well, I have the poster up there.
Let me blow it up here. I'm going to blow you up.
Yeah.
Not literally. Yeah.
No, but over there. Anyway. So yeah, so the poster there. So I absolutely love it. And then of course I have the t-shirt.
Oh yeah,
as promised.
That's awesome.
Now we're talking. Love
Fuck
it.
you asshole.
Fuck you, asshole.
fuck you, asshole.
I mean, how can you not quote this movie endlessly? But yeah, I mean, it's basically like a cartoon come to life, and I mean that in the best possible way. It's just got, everything about it is over the top 80s excess, and that's why it's just such a riot. I mean, every minute of it is just pure joy. You got a great villain in Bennett. Who's like Freddie Mercury on steroids, as he said, with Vernon Wells. He's awesome. Then you got David Michael Kelly on the hunt for Slash, and yeah, I mean, what's not up? The final half hour is just action nirvana, explosions, nameless goons being destroyed, and he doesn't even get barely a scratch. I mean, he's just a total invincible one-man army. The only thing,
John, you're getting old.
The only one thing which bothers me about the movie, it depends what mood I'm in, but sometimes I find Cindy, Rado, and Chong a bit annoying, being with her constant squealing all the time. You're just like,
I can see that.
Yeah, it's a bit like Willie Scott in Temple of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that constant, the cowardice screaming. You're just like, shh. So yeah, but and actually, I prefer the director's cut because there is just a little bit more characterization, because characterization is important in this movie. But yeah, no, classic movie, one of the best of the 80s, and one of my favorite, definitely top 5 Arnie movies for sure. Love the score. It's almost sort of calypso-esque or something. It's really doesn't sound actiony, but you're like, okay, I'll take it. But it's James Horner, and he was always great at doing sort of that kind of score. It's very similar music to what he did with 48 Hours. So it's the same music.
Yeah, and Red Heat also, right?
Yeah,
it had a little similarity there. But yeah, just phenomenal, and phenomenal shirt too. By the way, I'm jealous.
Thanks, sir.
Any negatives or nitpicks?
Just her being mildly annoying. Yeah, just her, really. I mean, anything else, it's kind of beyond criticism that way for me.
The director's cut, did it actually have more action though?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't have the shed scene? The shed scene isn't in
some extra gore.
Yeah,
it's extra gore. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 1 minute longer, like no more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's not much, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sumo.
I'm sorry, but I just want to add. But the good thing about director's cut Blu-ray, it has the director's commentary.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh. Actually,
but the regular one doesn't have anything. This is the regular one, right? This is
right.
Yeah.
I think that's the one
no
I
extra
have.
feature whatsoever. The director's cut has the director's commentary.
Oh shit! There you go, Sumo.
I'll let you borrow
Sumo.
mine, Preston. I'll let you borrow mine.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Sumo, I'm gonna have actually Frank Djeng go, just in case he has to go.
That's fine.
So Frank, you go
I'm
first.
Good, I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right,
Sumo, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, I'll make it quick.
No, don't worry. I'm good. The show is 10 o'clock. I'm good. So go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
I love the movie. Like I said, it's nonstop action. Really, the whole slowdown period was at the very beginning, which got that shit out of the way.
Yeah.
Feeding deers and playing in the pool and frolicking in the forest. You got that shit out of the way, and then the rest of the movie is just kicking ass and taking names pretty much the whole time, man. It's fucking great. The action sequences were just really like the director's cut. Like you said, the tool shed, the extra gore, right? The saw blades. On the original one, you just see the one saw blade through the forehead.
Right.
On the second one, you see the second blade go through the neck. And it's stuck in there. Yeah, nice haircut.
Whee! It's fun.
Yeah, and then
Is that Bob Ross?
Yeah. And then when he grabbed the one guy's arm and cut it off with the machete, you actually see the guy fall down and the machete, like the arm's exposed, and then he just throws the arm at him, just to get it out of the way. That was really good. Obviously, the action sequences obviously well overdone, but they're just so much fun. The explosions, from the little landmines that he has, just blowing up the entire buildings like crazy. And then the catapults on the field when the grenades go off. You see the catapults on the ground. Yeah. Everybody does the same somersault when they catapult. It's great. but it's just so much fun. One of the greatest. Like, obviously, the quotes they're endless, man. You can just quote it like crazy, and of course, Sully being my favorite character. You know what I gotta say, man.
Yeah.
Fucking whore. Great, just great. And even the dude that was accompanying him in the airport, right before they load up to the airport, when the dude just looks at him and he goes like that, and then he gets on the airplane. Great stuff, man. But all in all, I loved it. Awesome fun, and that's all I gotta say. Really, I have no negatives.
Nice. And of course, here you go. Your favorite part, Sumo.
Yes, sir. I lied.
Classic. All right, Rick.
Well, the word that I've heard a bunch of times that I agree with is cartoon. In other words, it's a son of Hercules cartoon. And Arnold had the one magic ingredient, which was sense of humor. He knew himself. He knew when he appears on screen, if he plays it straight, if he plays it serious, it's like, what's the point? And also the same, again, of course he's going to go through this and kill everybody because he's literally larger than life. He set the schematic for The Rock. The Rock, is basically one of these characters. And once he enters the movie, if he tries to play it like a human, I'm trying to remember, there was an action star who was bigger than life, who always tried to pretend that they weren't. Whenever I go to a movie and there's some guy who's just spectacularly handsome and some woman who's spectacularly beautiful and they're pretending they're not, I'm going, there's no point. They got the tone of this exactly right, and Arnold was there every step of the way. And I'm always looking. This was rewritten by Stephen D. D'Souza, who also did Die Hard, another one of my favorite action films. And that was also a movie where the hero knew who he was and was conscious of what he was doing and would make, he was emotionful. He used effort and emotion, passion and compassion in Die Hard. And here it's tailored, and that was perfectly tailored for Bruce Willis. This is perfectly tailored for Arnold. This is the most Arnold has ever been. And the fact that he would talk back to these guys and say the stuff, he was the Bill Murray of this movie as well, because he spoke for the audience. When he said, when I said I'd kill you last, I lied. The audience goes, yeah, that's what I would have said. So yeah, this is, even though the ending is not as big as the ending of Rambo, it is big because Arnie is doing it. Arnold is doing it. So yeah. 2 thumbs up, babies.
Nice. All right, Frankie.
Oh, well, I was really late to seeing this movie. Like, I was Predator all the way, right? And then my friend, when I would sleep over, he's like, you want to see Commando? And I was like, is it like Raw Deal? I didn't like Raw Deal. I blew it off for so long. I was such an asshole. And then I see Commando, and I'm like, it's amazing. My friend told me it's like Superman, like they stole Superman's child, and he just goes fucking crazy. And I'm like, it's pretty much that. And I just love how it starts. He's carrying that giant log. That's like, no human being can really do that. So we already know this is already going to get crazy. He's eating, feeding a deer. You know what I mean? Like, it's peaceful. But what I also like, everyone hit great things, but what I liked about the script was it would lead to these, like, all right, like the guy, like his Lismano gets kidnapped, and he's like, if you want to listen to me, and he says wrong, and he shoots him. So we didn't have to go down that way. We've seen a million times. We're all scared of that. Or like he gets on the airplane. You have to assassinate this guy, and it's like, oh, we're gonna go on that journey. Oh wow! And then no, he breaks the guy's neck and jumps off the airplane. You're like, what the fuck? Like, it make you like thinking. Even though this is a simple film, like I saw the synopsis on Wikipedia, it's like this small, man. Like it's tiny, but it kept it. It felt fresh. Or when they broke into the sports store to get the guns, and then he gets arrested, and you're like, wait, what? Now we're gonna make that U-turn? No, Radon Chong has the rocket launcher, boom, blows him out. You're like, what the fuck? Like it just kept on the momentum of the wave. I mean, I want a sports store that has a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
If anyone knows about that, just tell me, send me an email. But I love it. And also there's a cool thing, like they mentioned Valverde, and that's the place also in Predator. So it's like the same universe. It's all connected. It's the multiverse. But but I love it. It's fun. It's crazy. I probably missed out on something I was supposed to say, but I love it. Thumbs up.
Nice.
Well, you can do what I'm about to do, which is to go back. I forgot to mention, you mentioned
Wait,
Radar,
Sorry.
but you didn't. I'm talking about everybody. I forgot to say something too, Frankie. So that's what I'm saying. If you can think of the thing you want to say, come back like I'm about to, which is I want to do a special shout out to Alyssa Milano. I think she's the heart of the movie. Because I cared about her. I love that scene with the does and in the woods and everything. Watch her acting. She really comes across where I remember sitting in the audience going, oh.
Yeah.
All right, carry on.
Yeah, no, that was a good point. And all you got to do is show somebody this scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the tone of the movie right here. This is in a shopping mall, everyone. Yeah, that's the tone.
I've never seen that in a shopping mall, and I'm disappointed. I've always wanted to see something like that happen, and it never has.
How many
Eric.
security cards did he take, right? Wasn't it like 4
I
or
know.
5? Like, can he just boom? Like,
Yeah, he just lifted up the telephone booth, threw it. 8 guys are on him. He just threw them off. It was great. It was great.
What mall did they use to film that scene?
Sherman Oaks, right? I think someplace in Sherman Oaks Gallery or something. That's what I read, but I could be wrong.
All right, Eric.
Yeah, I love Vernon Wells, man. Dude always entertains me. Every time he shows up, I rewatched Circuitry Man a few weeks ago because he was in it. And so, yeah, Ray Dawn Chong was good. And I mean, you got to give credit to her aim with that rocket launcher. What a perfect shot! Because if she hit it straight, he would have died. She like clipped the wheel and just, I mean, it was perfect.
The end.
Yeah, and another thing, I really do miss like these showcased blockbuster 90-minute action flicks because it's the pacing just keeps running, baby. We don't need 2.5 hours all the time. So that's another thing. The most underrated line of dialogue in the entire film. My personal favorite is what happened to Sully. I let him go. Okay, that's my favorite. But the most underrated one is from the security guard at the mall. I'll be right there. Want to see me kick some ass? That's one of my favorite lines. And then he sees Arnold, he's like, that's one gigantic mother. It was great. Obviously, that balloon stunt. I mean, I don't know how many tries they needed to get that sucker. That is a fantastic. Look at this.
Yeah.
The timing. The elevator just comes down just enough. That was really great.
Yeah.
And then and the score. I there's something about the score to this one. And Action Elite mentioned the similarities to 48 Hours, which it definitely has. But it just has like that. It has like a tropical vibe to it, which I really liked. So yeah, this is just a great flick. I've seen it a million times, and I'm sure I'll watch it again next year.
Nice, Tony.
This is another one that I grew up with watching probably more times than First Blood Part 2. But I had it on I guess my parents recorded off TV on beta. And I kind of missed a little bit of the beginning with the Garbage Man. So it wasn't until later on in life that I knew that there was a Garbage Man scene in the beginning. Like, I was like, I don't know. I was like, what the fuck happened, And then I didn't understand, like, when I was little Bennett, I was like, I thought he died. What the hell's going on here? But I'm a stupid kid. What do you want? But I always love this. I love the movie. Like, I'm a huge Arnold fan. Like, I love Arnold way more than Sylvester Stallone, but I still love Stallone. He has. I think Arnold gets me for the action. Well, Stallone gets me for my tears. You know what I mean? Like Rocky makes me cry and all that. Like he gets my heartstrings with his directing and writing and all that. Arnold, I just want straight up fucking action, and that's what he gives me. Like, ¿Cómo está? Like that part there, like that whole thing, that whole scene is great. Like the cutting the head off there, that freaked me out when I was a kid. Look at that, Jesus Christ!
You stab him in the crotch or no? That's the belly. Okay.
Yeah. But like it was just watching it as a kid. It was just like adrenaline pumping, action. The mall scene, that's one of my favorite mall scenes out of any movie. I missed the mall. I missed when it was popular, but that's him again gliding through the air. I still to this day look for balloons like that in the mall. I really do. The way he rips out the booth, and everybody's just like holy shit, and then that guard like one gigantic motherfucker, is great. Sully, of course, is like one of the most quotable guys in this movie, I think, too, besides Arnold. The you fucking whore, like I, to this day, like, why is she a whore? She said no to you, you like skeevy little shit, and but he's like, the way he's standing there and she's on the phone, he's like puts a cigarette and he's like oh my god, he's so gross. But he's so great. And of course dropping him, that was great too. I have to do it because in my head I do a perfect Arnold impression, but I know it probably sucks.
Do it.
Do it.
You remember when I said I was going to kill you last? That's right, Mitchell. You did. I lied.
Hey,
and then
pretty good.
I like, and the fight with what's his name, Duke, in the hotel. I fucking love that. Like, you start off the show at that. That was perfect. I like the. I eat green berets for breakfast, and I'm very hungry. I love that shit. It was so great. Just all the fight scenes in this are awesome. I love it. It's over the top. It's what you want from an Arnold movie. There is something I could say that would probably ruin things, but I don't want to. I don't know if I want to say it because I'll say it offline because I don't want to say it online. Okay. But yeah, great movie. I love it. If I had to say anything negative, it would definitely be Radon Chong is a little annoying at first.
Okay.
But again, I like her way more than Willie.
She does at least get better.
That's another reason why I didn't want to watch Dreamscape for so long, right? Because she's in right. That. I'm like, I remember being a little at the theater at the video store, going, "Oh, that girl's in it. I'm not watching that." I couldn't stand her even when I was little. But yeah, 2 thumbs up, way up for me. And I think in Arnold movies, this might be, I don't know, probably fourth or fifth. My fourth or fifth favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Frank.
I mean, before this film, I like Arnold. I've seen, the 2 Conan movies. I've seen The Terminator. I liked him, but all great films. I liked him, but not like a fan. This film made me an Arnold fan.
Yeah.
I think the main difference was, in this film, he kind of transformed himself from just a muscle man and just say a little handful of lines to this charismatic, comedic, lovable leading guy with all these great one-liners and this no holds barred violent way of killing his bad guys and stuff. So this was his rocket ship that launched him into a legit action hero. It's like his coming out movie. So you know what I mean? It's kind of like, this is what I really want to do. This is the movie you got to see to understand how Arnold became Arnold, and this was the movie. I mean, completely over the top. Like terrible acting. Some awful dialogue. That car crash was pretty badly edited. I mean, awful dialogue, not the one line. I mean, just like some of you have some of yours typical, stockpile and kind of bad guy dialogue. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Badly edited car crash. Like Banner said, "Welcome to the party." That sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, it's awful, but it's fun, right?
Yeah.
It's like so bad is good. But in a way, it's kind of like it's not even. It can't go beyond so bad is good to something that so bad is cool, is badass. Once he started going after his daughter, when his daughter got kidnapped, and he started going after. It never lets up, really. The movie just moved. In some way, there's some moments where it's so hilariously terrible. You just gotta laugh, but you have a good time. Like in the assault scene near the end, you can tell some of the soldiers are cardboards. Explosions, right? You can tell them like cardboard moving and stuff. Like, what the hell is this?
Is that where they were like standing out? They were like the guards outside in front.
You can tell that the cardboard; those are real soldiers. But it's like they say, "Fuck it, we'll do it. We just do it. It's fun." It's like we're doing Ultraman. Ultraman was like that. Why not do the Ultraman stuff? But yeah, yeah. So this is just a great time. I regret that I never saw it in theater. I actually saw it on video. But to me, this film will always have the greatest gear up scene of all time. When he's putting up all the gear,
Oh yeah.
right before that 30-minute assault in the end. I mean, that's I mean, that ties in with Sigourney Weaver and Aliens as the best. I think this one is even better than the Ripley gear up scene in Aliens. I think that was the best one. So yeah, and then of course all the one-liners, don't disturb my friend, he's dead tired.
Yeah.
I could go on and on. So, but yeah, two thumbs is way up for me for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic. But I know some people are like, Vernon Wells was acting was too over the top. And I was like, motherfucker, didn't you see the rest of the movie? The whole movie's over the top.
Yep.
John, I'm going to shoot you between the eyes, John. I'm going to kill you now. Oh, this is great. Come on. All right, it's time to vote. And before we do the roundtable vote, we have some video votes. Hold on, let me get to them here. We have several badasses that wanted to join the panel tonight, but they got pulled away. They were really excited. They wanted to do it, but they got yanked away because of life. You know what happens. And I came up with this idea. I was like, all right, send it in video vote. Let's do it this way, because no more of this. Hey, Samurai, my brother's sister's cousin's nephew is voting for First Blood, so make sure that happens. No more of that. Show some fucking effort. All right. So here we go.
All rigged.
All right. So here we go. Before we get to us, we got Kyle Wong first here.
Hey, Dojo Army. Sorry I couldn't be there this week. I'm in the middle of moving out, but I want to thank Samurai and the rest of the Versus crew for this little cameo, but my vote is on Commando because of all those great one-liners. So, and that, guys, as much as I respect Stallone, going with Schwarzenegger and Commando.
Keeping track, right? All right, Eric's keeping track first. He's keeping score.
Yeah,
all right.
These are all official counts.
Yes.
Hey, Master Chaos
know this
here.
guy.
I'm sorry I can't join you guys in the live versus I'm a little under the weather, so I think I will spare you me blowing my nose and just give you my pick. It is, drumroll please, I don't have a drumroll machine, so I'll go like this. Rambo for me. I love Commando. I think Commando's amazing. It's so much fun. It's definitely a big popcorn movie. But Rambo, I'm voting for franchise. If Commando had 6 other entries, it probably would have won. But Rambo for me. Long live Rambo. I hope everybody's doing well. Sending you my best. Take care of yourself. Love you very much.
Now
I had a feeling he was going to say Rambo. I
You had a
I had a feeling he's a Rambo guy.
All right. And my samurai brother here.
Hey guys, Viking Samurai here. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and check me out on Instagram, Real Viking Samurai. So, Commando versus Rambo First Blood Part 2. This is a tough one because both of those movies are amazing, right? You got Arnold in his prime, you got Stallone in his prime. Now, I love Commando, and I can't blame you for choosing that because it's got probably some of the best one-liners in film history. It's just an overall, really fun film, really iconic of the 80s, that kind of over-the-top, explosive action type of film. But I got to give it to Rambo 2. Now, Rambo First Blood Part 2 is a lot more serious, and I think it's a very important film. I mean, first of all, if you think about the script, written by James Cameron and then revised by Stallone, I mean, you got 2 geniuses working on it. How could it go wrong? Total summer blockbuster, but I think it's an important film because, at that time when it came out in the 80s, I grew up on army bases, and I would see in a lot of people's houses, in their front yard or on the house, they'd have that POW MIA flag there. And we know that was a thing going on. And I think Rambo 2, I say it's an important film because I think it was cathartic for a lot of people. I think just the idea of, when Troutman meets Rambo and Rambo asks him, do we get to win this time? And then Troutman's like, this time it's up to you. And then you get that music. It's man, what a great way to start the film. But I think a lot of people just love the idea of actually going back and rescuing these POWs. So even the speech that Stallone has at the end, when he's essentially just saying, show a little goddamn appreciation for the soldiers, right? I know they're pawns in the government game, and they're not like deciding that they want to go to war or who they're fighting, but they are fighting for the country, and they're fighting for a cause that you may not agree with, but at least it is whatever the officials, the leadership decided. I think that speech at the end is really important, but overall they wrap it, Stallone wraps it in just like such a fun action film. But essentially, he does hit a lot of important points that were covered, and I think a lot of people just love to kind of see things play out the way they would have wanted to, like in real life, right? With let's go back and like rescue these POWs, you know, even though the leadership even in that film just wanted, no, you just take pictures, but it's like, no, let's break the rules. F that. We got to get these guys out. These are our brothers, right? So Rambo 2 is just, in my opinion, one of the best action films of all time, just as a movie by itself, but also like what it ties into what really went on in the world. Oh, and let's not forget, it basically planted the seed to the Expendables, right? For that whole franchise with the fourth one coming out now. But anyway, I love that whole dialogue, you know, like what mean expendable? Well, it's like if you get invited to a party, you don't show up, doesn't really matter. Kind of like how I feel about this, you know, if you get invited to a Versus podcast and you don't show up, doesn't really matter. So Viking Samurai is expendable, but my vote's going to count. This is my absentee ballot for Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Okay. And last one. There we go. The homegirl here. The homegirl.
Hey, it's Lindsay Washburn from the YouTube channel Lindsay Washburn, here to give my 2 cents on this episode of Versus. We've got Rambo First Blood Part 2 versus Commando. I love both of these movies. In Rambo First Blood Part 2, you've got so many great things. You've got the exploding tipped arrows. You've got Murdoch, I'm coming after you. You've got the mud wall kill. Commando, you've got Schwarzenegger in his prime, at his peak. All the one-liners, the fight between him and Bill Duke, the shopping spree, and just the carnage and excess of the ending. But for me, my vote, it's gotta be, well, I'll just let my phone case do the talking for me. I gotta go with Commando.
That's a great phone case.
Yeah, shout out to Lindsay. That's right. She's cool beans. All right, now those are gone. I'm going to go ahead and go first, man. I'm going to go first this time. All right, so love Commando, 5 stars. But there's something about that John Rambo character, man. Sorry, wrong video.
What does that have to do with him?
Van
We're about to get our Van Damme dance on right now, man.
And he votes for Van Damme. All right. Nice.
There you go. Rambo for me. All right, Owen, go ahead.
Actually, I got to agree with Rambo. Viking Samurai said it perfectly there when he said there's just a bit more depth to it when he was talking about, you know, the Vietnam vets and everything, where Commando is just a balls-out action movie, you know, like I said, it's a cartoon or whatever. In terms of just a better movie that just has, you know, a little bit more depth to it, I would say Rambo. But also, I just love the character of Rambo. He's probably my favorite action movie character of all time, my favorite action hero. Like he said, he's got a ton of movies, and you know, some people might not like the most recent one, Last Blood, because it's so different from the other movies. But I don't know, he still rips the guy's heart out in it. So you know, Rambo all the way. Rambo for me, all the way.
I'm surprised, Owen.
I know. I subverted expectations.
Yeah, in a good way. All right, awesome. Okay, Sumo.
Both movies are spectacular films, man. I love them both, but Commando had boobs, Rambo didn't. So I'm gonna go with Commando.
No judgments here.
Good reason.
Oh my god. All right, Tony.
Oh man, don't go to me next.
Erik.
We're skipping them for now. Okay.
Yeah, we'll come back to Tony.
Commando.
All right. Rick. All right. Nice. Frankie.
I'm gonna ride Sexy Sumo's boob defense. I'm riding Commando. Boobs, bro.
Yeah.
Boobs for the win.
You fucking whore. All right, sorry.
2 extra points, man. 2 extra points.
Eric, where are we right now?
We're at 6-4. Commando's winning.
Commando's winning. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
right.
good. Yeah.
Frank.
This is a tough one, you know, and I do like especially the Viking Samurai's analysis. Yeah, I mean, Commando is just, you know, balls out entertainment, right? But you know, Rambo has this additional depth, and again, because I just love the first movie so much, and also actually I have I also like the third movie a lot. I thought the third movie was very well done. That opening scene in the Thai stick boxing, you know, the stick fighting scene, that's amazing. That's an amazing opening sequence. But you know, this character is just so memorable, and Stallone just, you know, did such a fantastic job with this film. So as much as I want to vote for Commando because of the high entertainment value and stuff, but my love for this character, because of my love for the character, I have to go with Rambo.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. I didn't see that coming. All right. Where are we at, Eric?
6-5. Commando. It's all up to you, Tony.
So it's up to Tony to tie it, and then the audience will break the tie. Go ahead, Tony.
You know, because of Viking Samurai, like he has a lot of good points, you know, and I agree with him, but I have to go with which one I would want to watch more, and I'm gonna go with Commando.
All right, there it is. There it is.
It's not because I didn't want to tie. It's
right Tony here. Hates it when the audience breaks the tie. All right, for the win on this versus.
Yay.
And here, are you guys ready for this? I'm actually kind of surprised with the audience score here. I'm actually really surprised here. This is what the internet voted. You ready? Check this out.
Ooh.
I'm kind of stunned, really, because I know Commando is more of a crowd pleaser. I'm actually very stunned that First Blood beat it. The internet voted that way. So
I don't think because there's only one Commando. There are 6 Rambos. So if you were born in, you know, in our time and watched it, but the public, I think, didn't do that. By the way, I really like the 5th one, Rambo, too, the one in Laos. I thought that was very well done.
That's the 5th one?
Yeah.
Was it the 4th?
What's the 4th one? That's the 4th one.
How many in total? The one before this, Last Blood, is the worst one.
That's the 5th one.
Yeah.
So you're talking about number 4.
You're talking about the 4th one.
Yeah. Oh, I love
that one. Was good.
The
4th one was good.
Yeah,
I
love that one too.
But I really urge you guys to watch it. I mean, the 3rd one is great.
It's good.
Yeah. You know, the whole thing in Thailand and then in Afghanistan. The action in Afghanistan is crazy. You know, the helicopter stuff. Oh, that's pretty amazing stuff. You know.
And by the way, there was a little bit of controversy when this movie came out because many people felt that it cheapened the depth, the message depth. In other words, taking that very serious subject and turning it into a cartoon, which then allowed Chuck Norris to turn it into a further cartoon, was something that the people who actually felt, I mean, they were very happy that Stallone, won the war, but at the same time, to give it credit for bringing more depth to the story when actually it seemed to cheapen the actual story, made it more fictional, was something that was argued at the time.
Right.
It was also the Gene Hackman film, Uncommon Valor.
There we go. Yeah.
That was okay, but again, it is a Hollywood, you know, it's a Hollywood way of trying to tell the story. So,
yeah. But this was a blast, hanging out with all these badasses. That's right, and one great ass, Rick's.
Yeah.
Everyone. Oh no. Everyone's information, action delete, all that good stuff is in the description box below of this video. It was awesome having all you guys hang out with the Samurai today, talking movies. That's right. Thank everyone, all of you, for watching. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. That's right. And if you don't subscribe, I'm going to come get you. Man. It's fun. And tomorrow, actually, if you want to hang out with the Samurai a little bit later tonight, maybe in about 15 minutes or 20, I'm going to be doing some more live trailer reactions. So if you guys want to hang out with me tonight and watch some trailers. But if you guys are busy, don't forget tomorrow for you horror movie fans, join me at 6 p.m. Pacific time. The director of the newest horror anthology film, Bad Candy, Scott B. Hansen, is going to be hanging out with the Samurai tomorrow. We're going to be having some fun talking movies, and that's what we love doing. All right, don't forget to show support to all these awesome guys here. Keep watching movies. Good, badass action movies that don't have an agenda box that they got to check to please the masses. They say, yo, let's make a fucking badass action movie. Popcorn, beer, pizza, all that stuff. Bring your friends. That's right. Type of action movies. That's the good shit from the 80s, son. That's right. Enjoy movies, especially movies like these, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.
Hasta la vista.